Hey, listen up. I have a public service announcement. This one comes straight from the top. Smelling great has never been easier, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. All you have to do is watch, listen, and believe.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
Alright, hey guys, welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name is Curtis, and it's easy today. Today, I'm just going to be showing you some fragrances that just smell amazing. But of course, take these recommendations with a grain of salt because it is very subjective. These are fragrances that smell amazing to me. And every time I wear them, I enjoy the wearing experience from beginning to end. So I've chosen these 5 fragrances to show you today. So if you're curious to hear my thoughts and opinions on them, then let's go. First up, from the house of Amouage, we have Enclave. Man, so this one is just very luxurious. It has a slightly smokiness to it with a bit of a leathery undertone, but it's just very refreshing. It has a lot of character and depth. And what I really love about this one is when you wear this one in those cold temperatures, that spearmint that you get in here really, really shines through. It's like almost like a candied, kind of pepperminty sweetness almost. And so if you think of those, like, I don't know, you may have eaten these when you were a kid, or you may have eaten these during Christmas time, those candy canes, the red and white striped candy canes, or those round kind of peppermint, red and white peppermint candies that you kind of see, it kind of reminds me of that. Now, the peppermint in here doesn't come off like toothpastey. I know sometimes that happens when fragrances contain the note of peppermint, but in here it doesn't come off as toothpastey at all. It has a very realistic pepperminty smell that I absolutely enjoy. You also have some other ambery notes in here, a bit of woods and patchouli in here to kind of sweeten things up, but man, it smells absolutely amazing, and this is definitely one of my favorites from the house of Amouage. And in terms of performance, I get, as with most Amouage fragrances, quite beastly performance with this. So I typically do about 3 sprays, and that lasts the entire day. I have worn this to work before, so if I go to work at 7 in the morning and I come home at 7 or 8 at night, I'm still smelling it. So yeah, it pushes off quite heavily, and it is quite the room filler. But man, it is such a pleasant, and I think comments from people that I've gotten before was like, oh man, Curtis, you smell amazing. I've had that comment before. That was from a coworker, but yeah, this one is such a unique smelling fragrance. So I mean, if you're looking to smell unique but refreshing and good, then try out Enclave. It's definitely worth it. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Enclave by Amouage. All right, next up from the house of Pana, Dora, we have Oud Republic. So first off, let me just say, this has to be one of the coolest bottle designs I've ever seen. It's very well made, it's extremely heavy, and yeah, to be honest, the bottle design is what definitely brought me into this fragrance, and after doing a little bit of research, I was definitely intrigued. But this is basically a very kind of westernized take on oud and rose. It's a very, very easy wear, extremely pleasant, great performance on this one. This is an X-Straight. And this brand is a brand that I'm not too experienced with, but I'm definitely intrigued to try more from this house. But basically, this is a Swedish brand. And I think the guy who started this brand was basically from, I can't remember if it's maybe Syria or somewhere in the Middle East. Sorry, I forgot. But he basically moved to Sweden 30 years ago, and then he decided to start this brand. So I think a lot of those fragrances definitely have like a Middle Eastern influence. I wouldn't necessarily say that this one has a massive amount of Middle Eastern influence in it. I would say this is definitely a bit more geared towards the Western nose, I would say. But yeah, this is a very, very gorgeous wear. And if you're someone who's really not accustomed to oud and rose, then maybe this is a good place to start. Kind of like I said, it's just a very easy wear, very pleasant. You'll smell amazing, and people really, really enjoy this one. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Oud Republic by Pana, Dora. Next up from the house of Electimuss London, we have Persephone's Patchouli. Man, this fragrance is such a beautiful balance of freshness, warmth, and elegance. And basically here you have some cardamom combined with a bit of plum and honey, which makes for an absolutely intoxicating smell. I love this one. And in fact, this one actually might be my fragrance of today. I haven't quite decided yet, but when I go out later today, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna rock this fragrance here. So one thing that I really like about this one, this is more of like a green style patchouli. It's a very easy to like patchouli. Patchouli can be one of those notes that can be polarizing. If you look at a fragrance like Psychedelic from Javoy, I mean, that is a heavy slap of patchouli in your face, and to some people that can be a bit polarizing. This one's a bit easier on the nose, and if you're someone who's just getting into the note of patchouli, then this is probably a good fragrance to start out with. It's a bit easier on the nose, and it's just an extremely easy wear, and it smells so intoxicatingly good. And this is the only fragrance that I have from Electimuss, but I'm definitely curious to try more fragrances from them. This one right here has great performance on me. Again, that's something that's subjective. You need to test things out on your own skin. But yeah, I definitely get about 8 hours of longevity here with a moderate to strong sillage and projection. But yeah, this one is a lovely one and definitely one to check out. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Persephone's Patchouli by Electimuss London. All right, next up from the house of Xerjoff, we have Naxos. So yeah, this fragrance really needs no introduction. I mean, it's received a lot of hype in the fragrance community, and rightfully so. This one smells so good. And what I really love about this one is you get a very, very strong blast of lavender. Now, I love the note of lavender. It's definitely one of my favorite fragrance notes. But you get that lavender with a bit of honey and tobacco in here, and some ambery notes as well to help really kind of sweeten things up here. But that lavender gives this fragrance quite a strong aromatic quality. It almost kind of pushes into that lane of being a fougere, kind of borderlines there. But man, I really, really love this fragrance. It's such an easy wear. I know for some people it might come off as slightly medicinal, like that heavy kind of lavender presence. Combined with the other notes, for some people this fragrance comes off as slightly medicinal, but for me it doesn't. It just smells intoxicatingly good. Bottom line, that's it. It's such an easy wear for me, and it's one that I go to in the fall and winter time. It's kind of almost like a dumb reach for me. It's like, I know this is gonna smell good and I know people are going to enjoy the smell of it. It's a heavy compliment getter for me, and I really, really love the experience. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Naxos by Xerjoff. And finally, from the house of Maison Violet, we have Sketch. So this fragrance is very warm and woody. It's a great take on a patchouli and vanilla combination. It wears quite ambery as well, so there is a deep richness here that I really, really love. But yeah, this is such a stunning one from the house. And there's another fragrance from this house that I talk about quite often on the channel, which is Un Air d'Apogée. A lovely, lovely tobacco fragrance. But yeah, getting back to Sketch, this is such a beautiful wear. And if you're someone who likes fragrances like in the realm of like a Grand Soir, those two fragrances are not the same, but it might give you an idea to what this fragrance kind of smells like. But yeah, this is a gorgeous one. And if you're not familiar with the house of Maison Violet, they've recently done kind of like a relaunch or revamp of their house. So their bottle designs have changed. And thankfully for me, I was able to scoop up their old bottle design. I really, really like this bottle design, and the cap is so heavy. I mean, you throw this, you could really hurt somebody if you hit them with this. It is that heavy. And I just like the very classy design that they have here. But yeah, they have relaunched with new bottle design. And I think you can find, if you're looking for somewhere to find Maison Violet, I think Lucky Scent now sells Maison Violet, so you can check them out there. But this is a great one, and all of the fragrances from the house of Maison Violet were perfumed by Natalie Lorsan. She's one of my favorite perfumers, and she has done just a phenomenal job with that entire house in general. But yeah, Sketch is definitely a very gorgeous wear. It comes up just quite classy and elegant. I would say get like moderate sillage, moderate projection with this one, but that's I think works perfectly for this style of fragrance. But yeah, this is a gorgeous one and definitely one to check out. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Sketch by Maison Violet. All right, you guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. And let me know down in the comment section, what fragrances do you have in your collection that you can just reach for and just grab them without really thinking because they just smell good? I'd love to hear about them. Well, I hope you guys are staying healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next video.